Hello and welcome back to the ABM Podcast. This is episode 2. Again, I am all by myself. I greatly would appreciate any liking, subscribing, commenting, even if it's minorly harassing. I don't mind. I did see a couple comments that weren't like positive and weren't negative, but it's like a text, you know, when someone sends you a text, you don't necessarily know how to take it. So even if you hated it, just say it. Tell me why you hated it, all that good stuff, bad stuff, whatever the case may be. But I just have to tell you one thing that makes all of the negative energy not even matter to me is this podcast. And just to throw out there, I'm not a doctor, in case you were wondering. I didn't go to medical school. Unfortunately, I've never even read a book pertaining to the field of medicine, unless it was, more, I guess you would say, Eastern culture, and I didn't even read a book. I just Googled it, you know? So I'm not by any means saying that I'm giving any kind of medicinal advice right now. That's not the case. But I shared this podcast with my mom last night. The first episode, I sent it to my mom. She was all excited, super heart emojied out. It was a moment between us to share something special. And after she watched it, she hit me with a bombshell, guys. She told me that podcast actually cured her headache. You heard that right. It cured her headache. So headaches are one of the worst things you can get. They suck. They're a fucking bust. And I don't know if I guess I can't monetize a video now. Fuck it. Who cares, right? But headaches are horrible. And evidently, the sound of my voice, saying the words that I said, I don't know if it was a specific order of words, if it was the cadence, but it actually cured my mom's headache. So I'm just going to say, if you got a headache, I would love to know if the episode 1 cured it. I can say for sure that this episode will clear the headache up. You know, I don't know if it was something specific and special to episode 1, if it was part of the moment that kind of oozed into her watching it, and maybe the moment we shared helped start curing the headache. I don't know. But that's just a cool bonus. You know, I didn't even set out thinking I could potentially cure headaches. But yeah, I did it. So that's rad. Also, another thing that happened yesterday is I asked on Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, by the way, that's cool. You know, you don't have to follow me. I don't really care that much. But if you want to follow me, at Let's Mind Travel. I post kind of often. You know, I would say I'm roughly hitting like 10 stories a week, sometimes I'll go crazy and I'll get a little bit, full of myself, and I might post like 20 in a week. Very rarely do I post. I don't even know if posts are a thing anymore. It feels like stories have kind of taken over, but I digress. I asked on Instagram, at Let's Mind Travel, if anybody had questions, topics, or anything like that they'd like me to share on the podcast. So what I'm going to do in this first segment here is I got about 8 screenshots worth of questions. So thanks to all of you guys who did that. The fact that there's 8 pages worth of people that would like to hear me talk about something, I feel blessed. So thank you very much, and I'm being serious about that. So let's just start it off with what I got on this first page. So Simi Tara, shout out to you. You're a real one. You're a OG MVP, VIP, VP of fucking whatever industry you want to be in, okay? So I'm going to start with you because you hit me with 3 of them. And I don't even know if you knew this, but 3 is like my magic number. So you hit me with the magic number. I'm going to start with you first, and I'm just going to go boom, 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 right through them. First question, are you and Sandy going to be dressing up in couples costumes this year for Halloween? No, probably not. I don't know. We always plan on doing something like that. However, we haven't as of yet in our 13 years of being together done something for Halloween that was like matching suits or anything like that. But we've talked about it, So one of them that we've talked about that I'll just share with you, and maybe we'll do it this year just because of you, Simitara, because you deserve it, is Ricky and Lucy. However, plot twist, I would be Lucy and she would be Ricky, because ethnically speaking, she is, I believe Ricky Ricardo is Cuban and Sandy is Mexican. So although not the same, way closer on the ethnic spectrum than Irish and Cuban, right? So she would be Ricky, and then voila, I got red hair, I could be Lucy. So it would be Lucy and Ricky. That would be the couple that we could be for Halloween. So thank you, Simitara, for the first question. Let's get to the second. Are you still a fan of birds? If so, do you have a new favorite one, or is it the same one? Now, I have to admit, I do remember going live or having some kind of a podcast where I talked about birds with you guys. However, or I think it might have even been an Instagram story where I asked a bunch of questions, or you guys asked me a bunch of questions. I don't know. But I don't know what I said my favorite bird was. I'm guessing it was an African gray, because an African gray can talk. They're like fucking rad looking, and they're just awesome. I used to work at a pet store when I was younger, and we were never actually able to have one in the facility. But when people would bring them in, it was always like, damn, we got to get one of these, you know? And also ravens. Crows or ravens, they're not the same thing, but kind of. One of them's bigger and maybe more smarter, but I really like crows. You know, they're like the black bird of society, the black sheep. That was kind of the thing I was going for there. But I feel like people, when they look at them, don't give them the appreciation they deserve. Because a crow is as smart as like a 7-year-old kid. To give you some perspective, a dog is maybe like as smart as a 2 or 3-year-old. And that you're talking about elite intelligence and canine abilities at that point, right? Where a crow, they are like a 7-year-old. It's fucking crazy. My favorite experiment I've ever seen is they gave a crow a little bowl with some water in it. And once the water got low to a point, because the bowl had like a taper in it where he couldn't get down in there, and it got low, the water level. So the crow actually found a rock that would fit perfectly. And he was just out around in nature, found a rock, brought it back, put it in the cup, displaced the water, and he drank it. Fucking amazing. So shout out to crows. So yes, I'm still a big fan of birds. I feel like for life, I will be a fan of birds, Simitara. But feel free to ask me that question again at any point, because things do change. That's the only guarantee in life, right? Do you have any favorite holiday traditions? If so, what are your favorites? And this ends the trifecta, the hat trick of Simitari questions. As far as traditions on Halloween, there is one thing that me and Sandy did a couple years in a row that I really enjoyed. And I have a little projector. It fits in your pocket. It's fucking crazy. We live in a day and age, guys, where I could get a projector and put it in my pocket. And so I had one of those. We'd hook it up to speakers, and then we would pretty much just project it right onto our garage during Halloween, and we would play Nightmare Before Christmas, a movie that I hate to admit, but I've never actually seen beginning to end. I've only seen pieces of it, and even when we projected it for Halloween, it was more or less about having it on in the background, creating a cool moment for the kids. And because a lot of adults really enjoyed that movie, it was just a moment that everybody was able to share. They walked by, they love it, their kids love it, so forth and so on. It was also one of the only times where I actually spoke to the neighbors across the street, because they were very excited about it. So they said, hey, that's rad, da-da-da. You know, we had maybe like a 1-minute conversation, and that was it. We lived at this house for a couple years, and that was probably the extent of my interaction with this gentleman. To give you some insight, it was him, his wife, and they had a little kid. I don't remember if it was a boy or a girl. Maybe it's a girl now, and it was a boy then, it was a girl then, and a boy now. I don't know. I don't remember, though. And we didn't have much communication with these people except for that one moment, like I'm being redundant about. But one day, if you look through our front window, you could pretty much, you're looking right at their house. You know, if I was a creep, I'd set up a telescope and I could probably look all the way to their backyard. So one day I'm walking through the house and I look out the front window and I see that their door is open in the driveway. It's like 9-10 o'clock at night. I look at it. I keep observing it for like 1 to 2 minutes. I see that there's no lights on inside the house. So it couldn't be like somebody is taking shit inside. And it's the driver door. Typically speaking, people don't leave the driver door open, right? Maybe the back passenger door stays open because someone got to come out and get groceries, or maybe the trunk. But the front driver's seat set off my alarms. I was like, okay, I got to help a neighbor in need right now. This guy's about to get his Prius stolen, not on my watch. So I decided to go over, and I'm walking, and I'm feeling like, man, I'm such a great guy. And not to sound cocky here, but when you tell somebody their door is open and they say thank you, it's fucking amazing, right? You really feel like a superhero. So I'm walking over, And to give you some visual here, right? I'm walking across the street. I'm passing his car to the right. And to the right of the car, to the right of the driveway, lines up perfectly with their front porch. So I'm walking up, and the plan is to go to the front porch, do a couple of knockety doodles, and then let them know, get my thank you, feel great about myself, and then maybe we'll build a great relationship and be best friends. I don't know. My head was kind of all over the place at this time. So I go up, and then right to the right when you walk on their porch is a large window. It's not like floor to ceiling necessarily, but it's like hip high to damn near the ceiling. And I go to start knocking on the door, and then I kind of see something out my peripheral vision because I got really good peripheral vision. And I look over to the window, and the husband and wife, the guy who I'm trying to be best friends with right here, telling him his car door is open, is trying to get intimate with his wife. Not trying, they were doing it. They were on the couch. I didn't see like nipple, penis, or anything like that, but it was very obvious that intercourse was either about to happen or was happening in the moment. Now, I tried to be sly about this and think, okay, I'm going to slip off. Fuck it. The door's open. Maybe I'll close it for him. I'd rather them walk out to the alarm and turn it off than fucking me standing here while they're doing this. But unfortunately, they saw me, and it just created a very awkward moment because I didn't know what to do. So right when they saw me, I thought, okay, I'm going to act like I don't even know what's going on. They're just two people on a couch. And I said, your door's open. And they're like, what? Because I'm standing in front of a door, So I think the first thought they have is probably like, no, it ain't, because you're in front of it and it's closed. And I said, your car door is open. And then I just bolted. I was like, this is super fucking uncomfortable. I already did the best I could. And we never talked to those people again. So it didn't go down like I wanted to. What I thought was going to be a good Samaritan act, which still was. He still went out to close his door. Not right away. I think he was waiting for me to get back into my house to not have an embarrassing, awkward moment with each other. But it was just, I'm done with the story. How about that? A matter of fact, guys, I'm done with that story. I fucking hated it. I feel so dumb when I even think about it. No, I'm just playing. I don't. But I think it might be time for one of these. One of these, please. I used to go to Chuck E. Cheese. I used to play arcade games and win prizes. I made up that word to make it rhyme. Oh no, I'm doing double time. What am I gonna do? Right now I'm looking at the board games in front of me. We got Guess Who? We got a coin toss game. I'm saying bless you. That was just a little freestyle, just to get us out. Just a freestyle segue. And by the way, that instrumental right there, and I'm going to be honest, I'm looking back at that freestyle thinking like that wasn't one of my best. There was a few moments in there where I really dropped the ball. And for all of you connoisseurs out there that don't typically hear freestyling, you might think that was cool. He made it rhyme. But for the real ones out there, the hip hop heads, the one that, hip hop is dead, the underground is where it's at, ba 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 ba, you're going to be like, that was garbage, bro. That was boof. And I wouldn't totally disagree with you. But that was Benefit. And Benefit is one of like the OG pioneers of putting music online for people to download. He used to have a website called Beats by Benefit where you could look up over 100 beats that he made. They were all like a minute and a half long. And a lot of the writing I did when I was younger was to Beats by Benefit. I would just go on that website. This one is called Exalted. There's only a few of them that you could still find online, but there was one called Box Cutter that was amazing. Hall of Souls, I believe, was another one. But so that's just a shout out to Benefit, man. Shout out to you. Shout out for making the beats. No one even like knew what this dude really looked like. But a couple years ago, he started getting online. He started posting on Instagram. He's done a few YouTube videos. So just pay, just a little respect paid to Benefit right there. And guys, on that note, wow, that went by fast. It's almost 15 minutes. I had two other things I wanted to talk about. But because of Simitara just asking the dopest fucking questions on the planet of Earth, which may or may not be flat, conspiracy incoming. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to get into that now because we don't have time. Because I only have 10 seconds left, guys. We only got one freestyle in. It's okay. That was episode 2 of the ABM podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. episodes daily. Let's stop